and get to India from the other side. Nobody believed in him. Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna do this. They were like, you can't do it, Chris. And he was like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. He's like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. And he raised money. He fought for years. He finally got the ships, and he sailed the wrong way around the world, and he didn't do it. Not only did he not land on the other side of India, he found himself in a place called the Caribbean, and he was like, this is India. And the people there were like, I don't know if you've been eating some of the herb we've been leaving about, but this is totally not India. And they're like, this is India and you guys are Indians. They're like, brother, we are not Indians. He's like, I know Indians when I don't see them. You're Indians. You're just on the far side, so you're West Indians. And he stuck with it. Christopher Columbus stuck with it his entire life. Other explorers would come to him, they'd be like, yo, Chris, I don't think you made it to India. He's like, it's India. They're like, I don't think it's India. He's like, it's India. He died refusing to acknowledge the possibility that he never made it to India. Not only that, my friends, he never set foot in America. Ever. Ever. And yet, he had a public holiday named after him in America. That, my friends, is the inspiring story of how white men can fail up. Everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming out. Look at this. What a night. What a feeling. Here we are, Detroit, Michigan. We made it. I've really been enjoying it. I'm enjoying everywhere, to be honest. I'm having more fun in my life now than I think I've ever had. I'm enjoying America more now than I've ever enjoyed it. Every day. I don't even know what it is. I think, you know what, I think it's, you enjoy a place differently when it might be ending, you know? It just has like a different feeling to it. It's just like, what does that taste? The final season? Because you never know with America. You really never know. Every day is the best day and possibly the last day. I'm having an amazing time. I truly am. This year was such a blessing because I got to travel around the world doing shows in places I'd never performed before, places I've always wanted to do comedy. I've always wanted to try it out. You know, did shows in Berlin, Germany for the first time ever. That was really amazing. I won't lie, people freaked me out. People freaked me out before I went there. Like similar to Detroit, you know, when people are like, oh, watch out, Detroit, watch out, Detroit. You know, like people were like that with Germany as well. Like when I was going to Berlin, people were like, dude, Germany? Do they laugh? I'm like, what do you mean? They're human beings. Like, I don't know, man. Do they laugh? People got to me. There was a point when I was heading to Germany where I was like, maybe Germans just sit in the audience like, aha, yeah, aha. That was a comedy show. But they don't. They laugh. They're actually great audiences. I had an amazing time in Berlin. It's a city that sneaks up on you because it's so culturally diverse. You know, it has a burgeoning art scene, you know, fantastic music. The history in Berlin is truly deep and rich. You know, I love traveling and seeing places whenever I'm in certain cities. And in Berlin, I went out with like a tour group. And I had a great time, but I wish someone had warned me how painful a lot of like Berlin's history is, right? Because that was basically the headquarters of the Nazi party. So like everything ties back to Hitler. I didn't know this. I thought we were going on like a cute little tour. I ask a lot of questions. I'm curious. This brought the mood down. And we're out and about. The tour guide was doing his shtick. He was happy as well. He was like, here behind me you can see this is one of the largest airports that was ever built in the world. Yeah, it is a world famous airport here in Berlin, and it is so large that they filmed the Hollywood movie, The Hunger Games, inside this airport. Yeah? Any questions? And I was like, yeah, wow, how old is this thing? He's like, this is almost 100 years old. I'm like, damn, and like who built it? Yeah, that is the unfortunate part of the story. This airport was built by Hitler. I could see I'd messed things up. I tried to bring the mood up. I was like, which Hitler? He's like, which Hitler? Which other Hitler is there? I was like, could be Henry Hitler. Henry Hitler? Who the hell is Henry Hitler? I was like, you don't know Henry Hitler? It didn't work. Like, yo, man. It was tense, but it was good. And what I mean by good is it was nice to be in a place where people don't bury their history. You know? And what I mean by that... What I mean by that is that, like, when you travel through Germany, even if you don't go to museums, you cannot escape the past of both Berlin and what Germany did. You know, there are monuments scattered throughout the city, prominent monuments. They're memorializing what Germany did to millions of Jewish people and millions of other people around the world. You see it, you understand it, they talk about it. You know, they teach their kids about it. They teach children in school. They're like, hey, this is what Germany did. They make sure they know. But they don't make them feel guilty about it, which is a pretty amazing balance for them to strike, you know? They'll say to the kids, they're like, hey, kids, I hope you understand. Germany did this. You're not responsible because you weren't there. However, because you're the future of Germany, it's your responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen again. You know what I loved about being in Germany when they were talking about their histories is how forthright they are about it. You know, they know it's painful, they know that it's a terrible blight on who they are, but they don't hide from it. Like when I saw them doing this, I was like, man, I wish America did this with history. You know, 'cause you ever see how awkward it is speaking about history in America? It gets tense. Doesn't matter what history it is, it gets tense. You know, Columbus Day is one of those days. Every year in New York, there's a fight. Every year. Here in Detroit, there was a fight. There was a bust of Christopher Columbus that was around for 110 years. At some point, half of Detroit was like, we need to get rid of it. The other half was like, no, don't get rid of it. It was a huge fight. New York, same thing, every year. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day. Yeah, there was an interview on the news I saw once. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but I found it funny. The reporter went up to some guy and was like, sir, what are you going to be doing for Indigenous Peoples Day? And he was like, let me tell you something, it's Columbus Day. I'm sick and tired of people coming in and changing the name. We're proud of that day. It's Christopher Columbus. It's Columbus Day. It's not going to change. In fact, how would you feel if somebody came along, took something that's been around for a long time, and just decided to switch it and call it something else? Huh? How would you feel? I was like, but sir, isn't that the spirit of Columbus Day? I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Indigenous Peoples Day, the title. I don't like. I think it's a cop-out. I don't think it's specific enough. It's lazy. You know, Indigenous Peoples Day. Which Indigenous people? Where? How? Give me something, you know? You know what I liked about Columbus Day? Is that it was specific. Yeah. It was a specific, inspiring story of a man by the name Christopher Columbus, who believed against all odds that he could sail the wrong way around the world and get to India from the other side. Nobody believed in him. Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna do this. They were like, you can't do it, Chris. And he was like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. He's like, I'm gonna do it. They're like, you can't do it, Chris. And he raised money. He fought for years. He finally got the ships, and he sailed the wrong way around the world, and he didn't do it. Not only did he not land on the other side of India, he found himself in a place called the Caribbean, and he was like, this is India. And the people there were like, I don't know if you've been eating some of the herb we've been leaving about, but this is totally not India. And they're like, this is India and you guys are Indians. They're like, brother, we are not Indians. He's like, I know Indians when I don't see them. You're Indians. You're just on the far side, so you're West Indians. And he stuck with it. Christopher Columbus stuck with it his entire life. Other explorers would come to him, they'd be like, yo, Chris, I don't think you made it to India. He's like, it's India. They're like, I don't think it's India. He's like, it's India. He died refusing to acknowledge the possibility that he never made it to India. Not only that, my friends, he never set foot in America. Ever. Ever. And yet, he had a public holiday named after him in America. That, my friends, is the inspiring story of how white men can fail up. You know how much confidence you have to pull that off? Nobody else. That is white man confidence. Nobody else possesses that level of confidence. Go the wrong way, end up in the wrong place, call the wrong people the wrong name, and be like, I'm right, give me a holiday. No one else can do that. That is the level of confidence we should all aspire to. Is white man levels of confidence. Women couldn't pull that off. You think any woman should be like, I'm gonna sail the wrong way around the earth? They'd be like, burn her, she's a witch. You think people of color could have pulled that off? You think black people could pull that off? Wow, really? Black people just gonna sail around the world, wrong way around, get to the place they're not supposed to be, probably get arrested for trespassing. Be like, what are you doing here? Be like, man, my bad, man. I thought I was getting to India, man. My bad, man. I apologize. Man, I don't even know what I was thinking, man. You know what, man? We should have never messed with ships. It never turns out good, man. I apologize, man. This won't happen again. Why would...